Hello everyone, my name is Woody, and I'm the host of the Virtual Woody Variety Show. Virtual Woody Variety Show is a live stream show on Twitch that engages in casual conversation about ideas, creativity, and emerging tech. I get to talk to brilliant and insightful guests, and afterwards we play a unique in-show game show inside my Unreal Engine environment. For those of you who are new, we are recording live right now on Twitch. If you have a question, leave it in the chat, and we will get to it later before I force my guest into some interactive insanity. My guest tonight is Carson Reed. He's an animator, filmmaker, and motion capture artist working in the TV and film industry. But you may know him from his animation work in the Destiny community, where he creates incredible animations of characters from the game using motion capture and an amazing eye for cinematic detail to be able to create these really cool animations. Everyone, welcome in my guest tonight, Carson Reed. All right.
What up? That's cool.
Welcome on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely.
Extremely excited to see what we can do this evening.
Yeah, I'm excited to get to know you, man.
Let's get to it.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Oh, gosh, look at this energy. Let's go. All right. Cool. First question then. Let's kick it off. I always try to figure out where my guest is, like, sort of how my guest has made their like entry point into creative work. How did you get into doing all this really cool stuff?
So I started off in photography when I was 9.
Oh wow.
And the camera that I had was the first ever DSLR that had a video capability. It was a Nikon D90.
Oh wow.
And when I found out that I could just pop it into live view, take some videos, that I immediately fell in love with it. And then I had been doing video work for maybe eight years. And then a buddy of mine asked me, he was like, hey, I need another person for this 3D competition. You don't have to do much, just keep time for me. And I, out of spite, learned a software in like 4 months, and we ended up placing first in the state of Georgia. And I have not had a day without Blender open since.
That's awesome. Oh my goodness, that's wild. So like I am familiar with the idea that like the D90 is like the first video camera, because I started similarly. I didn't have the D90. I had the Canon T2i, if you remember.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That era.
A good camera.
And it was a good era. It was
a good era for
yeah,
cameras.
it was like the first time anyone could kind of just pick one up and like have some of the same tools that traditionally had been like gate kept pretty hard for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, also Blender, right? Like kind of a good time to be picking things up. I mean, what release would you have started with in Blender?
I started at 2.78. I had touched it before.
Yeah.
Like in 8th grade, because one of my friends was super interested in a show. So I was like, you know what? I'll make her something that's kind of cool. And we're, still best friends, but I had made her like a TARDIS in Blender, and that was my first ever thing. So that was 7.8. And then when I got back into it, it was still 7.8 because the thing never updated. But
yeah,
I've been using 3.0 forever, and it's amazing.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think I started with Blender in like 2.79, I think, actually. I was like in right before the 2.8 stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And, oh my goodness. Yeah, so that's awesome. So that's an incredibly precocious age to get started with filmmaking photography stuff.
Mm-hmm. My mom was a photographer, so anytime I went along with her for work, I'd just steal her camera.
Oh, nice. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes a little bit more sense. So that was like sort of like a nice natural entry point to working on that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So were you just like always around creative stuff? Like was that kind of you just were like always exposed to it? That was no pun intended there. Sorry.
No.
Good photography pun there.
I got it. That was a good one. Puns are underrated, especially if you nail them right. It's just a subtle thing. But no, my mom was really the creative one. So whenever I would, go to work with her, that would be where I'd have, moments of trying to learn as much as I possibly could, and then just carrying it along that way.
Gotcha. Okay, that's interesting because not everybody like identifies with their parents' thing, like like it's not like some people kind of like tend to trend away from like what their folks are interested in. So that's interesting. You just took to it. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha. So what are you working on these days, and what do you find most compelling about? Because so that's the beginning point. So you're and I guess what would you say? What are you up to these days in your career? I guess.
Yeah, so recently I accepted a sweet gig with HBO. So been doing a ton of virtual production on that and just using Unreal and volumes like how they do in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And I brought the idea of like, hey, we could combine all of this tech and also some of the motion capture that I bring to form a really cohesive environment that we can just crank out product by product and really do some awesome stuff. Also, the stream is lagging for people.
Is it really?
I don't know
Shoot.
if your
We
upload
had
speed's fixed or not.
I don't know. Oh, I think yeah, I'm looking at we're getting some red in the KBS uploads. It'll do what it'll do. We pray to the internet gods that it will improve, but it is what it is. I can't do much more than reset the router, and we already did that today.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
So yeah, lately I've just been doing a ton of Unreal Engine work, which has put me down a rabbit hole I have not yet like looked at properly up until the point that they were like, hey, do you want to come over and try some stuff out?
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting learning process.
How'd you find yourself in those spaces? Because I think like HBO is like the kind of thing where even myself, I'm like I don't know anybody who works at HBO. Like that's very interesting.
Yeah. So I got super lucky and I went with a producer buddy of mine to like look out for a studio that had the LED wall. And when I went there, the producer of that company and I just really clicked, and we hung out for like 2 hours. And then very shortly after that, his contacts started contacting other people and telling them like, hey, they just got somebody new that knows how to do motion capture. Let's jump on this now. And then
ooh, okay.
Now
yeah.
HBO's like, hello. So
yeah.
I will take it.
Hello, this is HBO. We would like one motion capture, please.
Yeah, I'd like one small order.
One small order of mocap. That's that's pretty wild, right? Yeah, there's a lot of like volumes and stages in the it's particularly the Atlanta area. That's that feels like probably you find the right person, you find your way into that pretty well. Okay, that's fascinating. So talk to me about the journey into Unreal Engine. Had you messed around with any game engine stuff before?
I had maybe 2 weeks worth of experience. I had been working on remaking SRL from Destiny 1. And for those of you that don't know, it's Sparrow Racing League. So it's basically just like racing with your friends. And it was removed from the main game now in Destiny 2, so people want it back. So I was like, you know what? I'll learn Unreal Engine for people and work on visual effects, all the map design, all the materials, all that good stuff. Like the entire pipeline of making a video game. So pre-production, production, and making sure that things are kept in line.
Yeah.
I handled all of that for about 3 weeks before I was like, this is kind of hard. and then I still have the project file and I can still open it and like go back into it. And I think I will revisit it later down the line. But that was my real only experience using it. And then when I got, to this job now, they were giving me, 150 grand worth of gear to play with. And I didn't know where to even start.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's okay. So that's crazy. What do you say after that happens?
You're
just like, yeah, you got it, Chief. Whatever you want.
Yeah. So, I had zero experience when I like sat down into the chair and all I did was open up Unreal. I looked around and I started trying to figure out, what does Blender language look like inside of Unreal? So
Sure.
the first task was, figuring out where's my buttons, how do I move objects. That was to the level of understanding that I had. But fortunately, I can very quickly learn by breaking things. So after I broke it for a little bit, I was able to, fix it. And I mean, we're making a show out of it. So I guess I had learned enough of it at one point.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. No, it's a good trial by fire, right? Like that's.
Yeah, I get thrown into the mosh pit and
Yeah,
start learning how to dance.
Yeah, exactly. Do people dance in mosh pits? I feel like it's more of like
jump until someone gets unconscious.
Right, exactly. I feel like it's jump and try not to get injured if possible.
Yeah.
But
no,
yeah.
that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Okay, so wait, so you touched on the Destiny thing. So you're trying to recreate SRL, which is like a racing minigame in it. So that's very cool. So that brings us back to the subject of Destiny stuff. Like, so when did you start getting into that community, and like how do you conceptualize that? Like, are you like gosh, I'm gonna sound so old here. Are you like a Destiny modder? Like, how do you describe it?
Yeah, so I got into it in like May of 2019
Okay.
or 2020. I think it might have been 19. But it's sort of a weird way that we do it. So the website, like if you have a previewer,
Yeah.
it has a basic 3D model. And the way that we used to do it was we would take the number model up in the URL, and it would be, I think it's 6 or 8 digits, but you copy that, extract just the 3D model section, and then you cross-reference the in-game data files with the same hash to get the textures.
Okay.
And then you have to recreate the entire shader network, and it's a super complex thing. And fortunately, I have this community has some extraordinarily hardworking and talented people, and somebody decided, you know what, I'm just gonna sit down and make it. And I think it took this guy like 8 months to work on it.
Specifically, what? Make what? Like a shader,
this material preset shader thing.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
In Destiny and a lot of video game engines, instead of doing a typical PBR renderer where you have each channel like diffuse, your specular, metallic, roughness, normal map, and then something else, right? Destiny and a lot of other game engines, what they'll do is actually bake their textures into a single texture file, so that way it saves on space. So,
right, so it's separated between like red, blue, and green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Destiny decides in the alpha channel, we're also going to add things. So,
a fourth channel. Oh, good.
yeah, and the fourth channel has mask values, and you have to set different ranges for each thing. And then recently they added die slot, which is pretty much the same exact idea, but with colored data. So you get a bunch of random colors. You have to clamp them down, grab the data out of it, and then feed it back into the maps. It's a super complex thing, but
yeah, no, I don't. I mean, like having spent a good amount of time on the video game side of things at this point, like having like similar to you, spent a little bit of time in both worlds. It's not like unheard of to like split the maps up, but like when you have to start defining ranges for like other stuff, like that is complicated and kind of tough. The reason, if people are unfamiliar, like the reason that game developers do this and like split things up, specifically if you put everything into one image, it saves a bunch of space in the file, and like game developers are always trying to make the file size smaller in games, even though it doesn't seem like that when you're actually downloading stuff from Steam. It's like you're like, what are they doing over there? It feels like they're just like chucking whatever they got in there. I remember when I first downloaded Half-Life Alyx, I was like, holy cow, this is huge. And then like, because I hadn't been playing like a lot of PC gaming for a while, and I was like, this is 50 gigs. And I told a friend, he's like, dude, that's nothing.
50
like,
is nothing.
Yeah, that's not a big deal at all. And it's like, oh, wow. Yeah.
Though the person in the stream, Judd Sub,
Yeah.
that is the guy who actually made the material. So that's the man, the myth, the legend.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that's awesome. Great.
I am actually really glad that he showed up because he's a badass.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. That's super cool. Yeah, and like you don't necessarily know with shader tech stuff like Unreal and Blender have like very clear ways of using graphs to create PBR models, whereas some people are just plopping in their own HLSL code or whatever else they're using to define the shaders. Like I don't know anything about Bungie's internal engines or anything like that.
It's similar to Unreal in terms of the UI and some of the implementation, but their material shader is insane.
Gotcha. How do you guys know? Like, how do you know what their internal tools look like? I feel like for private game engines, it's all very much kept under wraps.
So they do have some videos sort of explaining it because they're very open in terms of what they're using, how they're using it, and like I've just been told that it looks exactly like Unreal in terms of the UI. And then if you watch some of their older, I think they're now unlisted videos that have them working in the engine, you'll look at their material and go, oh, what is going on?
Yeah, no, I've seen some graphs like that in Unreal too. Like,
complex.
If you ever open like the metahuman skin stuff, it's like,
don't touch that.
Yeah.
Do not touch that.
Don't look too deeply into it. It's like seeing some eldritch abomination. You will learn secrets that you cannot be able to express, and it will break your mind.
Exactly. Yep.
Oh, that's great. It's interesting. I'm always unsure. Like, there's a lot of technical people in this community, and I'm not always sure like how technical to take an interview, because I feel like some people are like, like we got Blender users in the chat, we got people who code, we got people who do all kinds of different stuff. But that's interesting because I think about these things a lot. Do you feel like you learn anything from like doing all the really like? You have to go check out Carson's animation. Like, this is the first time I've said your name in the stream. I've DM'd you like twice. I'm like, what am I supposed to call you? Because I've seen you use
it's
both
a name.
names.
As long as I recognize that I'm being called, I'm alert.
Oh my goodness. Gotcha. Yeah. So I'm just gonna keep switching off Carson Reed, whatever.
Gotcha.
I gotcha. Yeah, you got to check out his animations, though. That was the point. It was what I was gonna say. Like, you have to check out like the stuff's so freaking good, dude. Like the images are ridiculous, and like you clearly also have that photography background. Because when I'm looking at your renders, I'm like, okay, this dude understands how light works, and like you've got like a sense for the composition of things and stuff like that, and things move dynamically in the scene. It's so good. I'm wondering though, like, do you feel like through any of those experiences, like you've had this is a leading question. Do you feel like doing any of that stuff has like given you a little bit more of a palette for like how to think about some of your, now more professional projects when you're thinking about how to like line all this stuff up? Has that been like a good training ground?
It definitely has. A lot of like my mom made a book about lighting. That was her thing.
Okay.
And me like having the book and being able to look at some of the photos and see like, okay, this is your Rembrandt lighting right there. You want to have your catch lights, you want to have some ample rim lights, and then I'll watch some films that have like really, really good cinematography, so the lighting is perfect, and I'll copy some notes out of their book and figure out I really like, contrasted harsh rim lighting.
Yeah.
And depending on the mood that I'm going for, I might change it up. I might change the angle direction, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because the lighting is like camera work is one thing and lighting itself tells a different story. So having that knowledge and being able to blend in both the camera work and the lighting in a cohesive way along with the animation and the environments, it just kind of meshes everything together. And
you were describing the cohesion of an aesthetic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Here's the little breakdown for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you and your mom ever like clash about lighting stuff, because like as you grow as an artist, obviously like you develop your own tastes and stuff, right? It's like, do you guys ever look at the same image and she's like, yo, the diffusion on this thing is trash, and you're like,
Well,
I
actually,
like
yeah.
it harsh, bro.
Sometimes, like, if we're out at dinner, she'll be on Facebook and see a photo that's edited, and she'll, figure out in her head, this is what they did. And then she'll hand it off to me and then be like, what did they do to this?
Yeah.
And we both compare notes pretty much. So
Yeah.
I'll take a look at it and figure out, okay, they didn't green screen the character. They took the photo on a white background and just really crappily masked them out.
Lou
And
McKee.
then
Yeah.
give my room and like reasons out, and then when we both look at it, we see like, oh yeah, that's how they did it. And I've gotten really good, kind of like those AI that can detect if a photo's been edited. I've gotten pretty keen eye on like looking at a photo and immediately going, lighting is off. That is wrong, right?
Yeah.
And I do that in my work as well. So like if I'm working and I find even just a subframe in the motion blur, I can watch it and be like, I gotta fix that.
Unreal loves throwing those. Unreal loves throwing those weird subframes.
Unreal Engine rendering is such a side of my thorn, man.
Yeah. I'll get you back onto a more happy topic. I'm dying to actually know what cinematographers you like, because I know quite a few cinematographers. Have studied a lot of the work of a lot of people. Despite my very friendly, evenly lit appearance, I been known to throw some hard shadows back in my day. What am I saying? This is a weird sentence.
No. Well, I get it. Out of context, it might be odd.
Yeah. I know every once in a while I just find myself in the middle of one. I'm sorry, that was supposed to be a question. What are your favorite cinematographers?
Oh, I do like Steven Spielberg's like long shots. Like specifically, there's one in E.T. when he does, I think it was 3 dolly zooms.
Okay, yeah.
So I think it might have been the opening shot, but long shots are my favorite because just the amount of like dedication, timing, choreography that he puts into all of the people, and is like, y'all need to hit these beats or we gotta scrap, right?
Sure.
But the opening shot comes in and it shows the town, and it's pushing the camera in and zooming out, and then as he backs up, he does the same thing to show people walking in front, and then it goes back into it, and I was like, this dude is insane.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, have you seen that 10-minute long one from Jaws, where it's like it hasn't really cut, and they've been they got on a boat, and they're like on a boat, and they get off a boat?
Yes, I love long shots because they really, like, at least for me, they pull me into the story a lot more. And
Yeah.
I think one thing that really kind of grinds my gears lately with like action films is they'll cut way too much in a fight. Like, what was it?
I feel like
Jason Bourne.
Well, that's a great example, but I feel like that was an era that's like sort of getting better. Like, I feel like there's a little bit less to complain about in like a John Wick than there is to complain about in a Bourne movie.
Yeah, John Wick is really good. Bullet Train had, in my personal favorite, like right now it sits at a 9.8 in terms of cinematography and the flow of the cut.
Okay, yeah.
It's just, the fights feel perfect, like the weight of the camera follows through, and it feels like you're there.
Yeah.
Which I think another thing that Michael Bay really does well is grounding cameras, especially with CG work. It can be very easy to, put a helicopter shot in an area where you wouldn't have a helicopter.
Yeah, no, I think that makes, I'm just taken by the fact that you want to give credit to Michael Bay, because I feel like maybe it's gotten better, but for a long time, everyone just wanted to, like, for lack of a better term, shit on all of his directorial choices. So,
okay. Well,
I respect the craft a lot. Like, Michael Bay is a super talented dude.
I agree. Yeah. I know that he loves his flares. And I rewatched the first Transformers a while ago.
Yeah.
And I very clearly see it isn't an actual anamorphic lens that they're using.
It's not. No, they're doing
No.
something spherical with something else going on the.
They're grabbing the like highlights. They are clipping it with a level in After Effects, and then adding like magic bullet looks flare on it, because that's what it looks like.
For all you game engine nerds, that's the bloom filter in Unreal.
Yeah, it's the bloom, but it's set to convolution blur instead of the normal one.
Okay. Yeah,
it's weird.
That's an interesting connection to draw. It's like it's almost like a little bit obscure to be like, oh yeah, I was watching Michael Bay films from like 2009, and like I'm thinking about how like and I guess I drew the connection, but I'm like, but yeah, like totally there's like a post-processing people do to be able to like get the looks. What about lighting? What about like what are you some of your go-tos for lighting?
I think, let's see. For lighting, I really like Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
And then the last Batman film, what's his name? Matt Reeves.
Yeah, I don't know the cinematographer.
Let's see, hold on. Let me just really quickly
we'll get the results straight up. Yeah, there's some really good stuff in that one. It's interesting.
Greg Fraser.
Of course it was Greg Fraser. Of course it was.
Okay.
Excuse the sound here. There's some...
Are you on a race course?
You'd think so sometimes. It's just something that goes on in my neighborhood.
Man.
Yeah, it is what it is. We usually get a fire truck too. No fire truck yet. It's occupational hazard. Is what it is.
Greg Fraser, his cinematography in the Batman and in Dune. And then another one that I think he might have also done was Zero Dark 30. Was that also him?
Maybe. I don't know who shot that one, but Greg Fraser is like I feel like he's kind of the guy right now.
He's insane.
Yeah, no, especially for sci-fi stuff.
The Dune cinematography, I thought matched really, really well with the narrative that was going on, kind of putting it into a more like, this is a messed up future.
Yes.
And I thought it was beautiful.
Had you ever read the book of Dune?
I read part of it and then realized this book is far too large.
Fair.
But I do know that, like, some of the things that were talked about in the movie, or some of the things that were in the movie weren't actually talked about in the book, or I'm exhausted.
They cut some corners for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were some things that they were kind of like shifting out on, but at the same time, they're going to make like 3 films. So I'm all in.
Yeah. I had heard there was going to be 2, and I hope there's just going to be 2, but I'm totally in for it. I loved it. I thought it was great, and it's been cool. I feel like it's been more fun to think about some of this stuff since getting into into Unreal, like thinking about every film a little bit more in terms of like, okay, how could we create that in CG has been like sort of a fun thing for my brain to keep thinking about, of like, okay, cool. It's like we still got to make the lighting look motivated, but like at the same time, like look at all this ambiance they pulled off in the movie. Like it's like there's like a large glowiness coming from that direction, and then like, you know, it looks really good in the frame, but sometimes you think about it hard and it's like, oh, this lighting isn't that motivated, and then you're like, okay, well, it would look weird if we tried to do that in CG, because like it would just kind of like fall out a little bit differently, you know? Mm-hmm. It's been a fun time to be both a game dev and a filmmaker. Like, do you think about new media like that at all? Do you think about like the combination of all those things? Like when I've been talking to clients and I've been talking to people who are interested in just like what I'm doing with this project, I'm like, my whole thing is I just want to combine skills together. Like I want to combine all these different loves and these different interests. And I feel like, and I would definitely count you among them. I feel like there's like a emerging group of people that are like just artists that can work in like, not like any single possible tool, but like it doesn't matter if you hand someone like you a camera or a Blender or Unreal Engine or something. Like you have so many fundamental skills that are based around how to create cool images. Like I feel like you're gonna figure it out no matter what, you know?
Yeah, I do like being able to sort of blend in a bunch of different things and put them all into one sort of main project.
Yeah.
Um, Specifically with like The Mandalorian, because a lot of their stuff is done on just the wall, and they're just using Unreal Engine, and it's super sweet. Um, and being able to watch them work inside of a game engine, have all the game dev knowledge for things, setting up your sequences, getting your timing right, that kind of thing. And then just taking a real camera, having a tracker on top of it, having everybody else real, I think
Yeah.
is a really sweet thing.
Yeah, no, it's so good. Yeah, but I feel like it fundamentally changes the nature of like the people working in it. Like what do you self-describe as when people ask you what you do, either inside or outside of the industry?
I just say I'm a 3D animator, and they're like, okay, cool. But then if they do ask for more information, then I get to go into like a deep dive, and explain. I use motion capture and a bunch of high tech equipment that will track my movements, and then I can put it into a character, any character. And a lot of things that I like to do for clients is tell them, what's your favorite video game, like
Mhm.
growing up? And I can find the model relatively easily. We put them into a suit, apply the data inside of Blender, export to Unreal. They can see themselves as
Yeah.
that character. And then they're immediately hooked. They're like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever. I'm in. I'm like,
Oh gosh.
cool.
That's really smart cuz like you get them physically invested in the process.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's that's like gosh, I feel like for every cool technical trick, like that's really very cool, but like the people who have figured out how to communicate well with other people and get them invested that way, like that's where things really take off. That's where it's
Hmm.
like, oh gosh, this gets really special. It's like a that's really something. So yeah, I admire that greatly. Like the thinking about that. I guess that's technically a marketing skill, but that's like, dude, that's very
It
very well thought out.
For marketing, it goes absolutely insane. The clients that I've managed to get to the business so far, um, they would come in a little hesitant. They'd be like, "It's just a giant TV. What's the deal?"
Yeah,
And then I would put them right in front of the screen, flip the camera monitor around, and be like, "You're now in the environment." And it took me all of 5 minutes.
yeah.
And then I let them play with it.
Well, it
And
took
when
you
they're
5 minutes.
playing with
Took
it,
you
they
five
get to,
minutes on the day.
yeah, yeah. When I'm playing with it, they see like, oh, well, he knows what to do. And then I give it to them, and they're purposefully trying to find errors in it. And then they're like, what is, oh, this is it. I'm invested now. And that's happened with a few artists that have like come in, and they seemed excited but a little hesitant, and then after I talked to them and showed them, this is what you can do with it, this is some of the skills that we use here, and before they even leave the studio, they're 100% hooked and they're ready to sign NDAs.
Yeah,
It's the marketing, that's the hard part, but being able to show them in real time with the help of Unreal Engine is just, that's insanity.
yeah. So like being even being able to pitch stuff is like sort of its own skill. Where do you feel
Hmm.
like you picked that up?
My dad is he's a the marketing director, and he's been like that forever. He was a car salesman, so he taught me the way of like making sure that anytime I spoke to somebody, I'd have to convert it into a language that they understood. So, say for example, we were talking about um, just Unreal Engine, right?
Yeah,
It works. You know that it works. But if you were trying to market a tutorial class about explaining how it works, you're talking to a medical student about it, and they're like, you know, the human body would work
yeah,
just as Unreal Engine works. What we're trying to explain is like why your heart is beating, how it's beating, and we're going to teach you how blueprints are made, how LiveLink works.
yeah.
Just sort of simple communicative things that they can relate to, that immediately hooks them in, because them being able to convert new knowledge and referencing what they have already that they're super good at, that is really crucial.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you kind of grew up with like the ideal, not to take any credit away from you, but like the ideal melting pot of marketing and creativity.
I got very lucky. Yeah. I got the marketing from my dad, and then the
Yeah.
creative part from my mom. However, I did not get the language part, like literature. I'm so awful with scripts.
Oh, interesting. Gotcha.
That's a weird part.
You can't have them all, man. Like you're a genius. Like you can't.
I'll learn it. I'll learn it eventually. But if somebody tells me something in another language or even in English, it'll take me a few seconds to go. What? Repeat.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
That's the one. That's my Achilles tendon.
No, but no. You're fine. You know how, if you know how to talk to people, like whether or not it all comes out right, I feel like people can tell the cadence of like the way you speak and all that stuff, and it goes a long way. It's like that's the meta skill, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's really cool. All right. So what do you like? What's got you most excited these days? Like, what are you working on right now that you're like, ooh, this?
Let's see. I'm coming out with 2 short films very soon.
Okay.
So those are fun. One of them is already almost done. I just have to finish up some facial capture stuff.
Is this a Destiny thing or is this something else?
This is completely new. This is new for me, at least.
Okay, I'm excited.
And then as for the Destiny stuff, the second short film that I'm working on, I actually have a really good team behind it. Some very, very talented voice actors have like graciously were like, I'm happy to record some audio. And I was like, yes, sweet. So I've got the audio done. What we're looking for now is just trying to get the distro out, making sure that it's marketable, about as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
But we have somebody that is taking care of that for me, so that's nice.
That's on the Destiny project. Or that's on the other project.
This is the Destiny project. The other project already has distribution taken care of, not for me again. Which is, as long as I don't have to like figure out an algorithm, then I'm totally fine.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Goodness knows. Yeah, I've spent a lot of time trying. That is its own. That's its own game. That's its own thing. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. So that's very cool. Is there anything else you can tell us about those, or is that just kind of like it is what it is for now?
No, I can talk about the Destiny one. The other one is, that's kind of like a pop out piece for this company. This new like subsidy.
Okay. So that one's a client project.
Ish.
It's
okay. It's technically me and my co-producer's project.
Yes.
For our company that is underneath HBO. If that makes any sense.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. It's contracted.
Yeah, it's some crazy like logistics that I don't have to deal with. So.
Love that.
They keep me on the creative side, and I was like, thanks. So less work I have to do on that end, the more I can focus on the actual like. The quality, the
compelling part, the good part,
the part that gets people in. So the Destiny project has 2 super has 2 characters from the story, and it's taken from a lore entry already pre-existing, and I just kind of wrote on it a little bit. Copy the homework, but don't let the teacher know you copied. So it's I don't know if you play the game, but there's a character who runs his own type of game show, super competitive.
This sounds relatable.
Super fun. Yeah. But he's a really funny dude in the game, so I pitted him up against the more stoic queen in the game, and I was like, this will be fun. I want to see how well these 2 characters will clash together.
Foils.
So I tried finding about as much reference and lore that I possibly could, and I found like one tiny little nugget of conversation that I was like, I'm gonna put this in, kind of like Cocaine Bear. And I don't know if you've seen the film. It's actually
I've
really
seen the
good.
trailer.
I thought
But
the
you
film
said,
was great.
oh, really? Okay.
But the yeah, so I took, you know, some creative liberties, if you will, and sort of made it my own. But there's, you know, some dialogue happening in
Wait, I'm
between them.
sorry. What does this have to do with Cocaine Bear? I lost the thread there.
Oh no, you're good. I was talking about like creative liberties.
Oh, I
Because
see.
the
Yeah.
original story of Cocaine Bear is not as
What
amped
is it
up.
based on? Is it like a real thing that happened?
Well, there was well, the thing the thing was is that they just found the remains of the bear with cocaine in his system.
This is not where I thought this interview was going. Amazing. Keep going.
Yeah. So that was the only thing. So they had only found, you know, this bear
Yeah.
that had died
Yes.
with cocaine in its stomach. It had already decomposed, and they were like, okay, so there's obviously more cocaine everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So that was the end of the article. That was all that there was. And then the
The writers came in.
writers were like,
Yeah.
we're gonna make this thing murder everybody. And I was like, what is going on? It was a really good film though.
Okay.
But just that was the creative liberty part where, you know, you take one small segment and then amp it up.
Yeah.
So that's what I did with this little film, and it's very, very short. I think it's only, so far in terms of screenplay, we're only at like 1:15, and most of it is just like dialogue and some gameplay.
For animation, though, being 1:15, that's not so bad.
Oh, that's well, it's
Yeah.
intense for sure.
Yeah, but not as intense as like 8 minutes or something like that, you know? In terms of delivery of the different shots.
Yeah. I do have one film that I've been working on for like 2 years now, and it the rough draft is currently at let's see, I think it's at 15 minutes.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
So it'll be super intense when it's done, and it is like the story of it is again based on like a true story, but I just was like, I'm gonna reformat it so that people don't notice.
Mhm.
That makes
Okay.
any sense.
Okay, yeah, sure. It's something you've written as well as you're working on kind of like getting the writer
Yeah, so-
chops into?
So this one was like fully from scratch. I mean, other than like my head, right?
Yeah.
So there wasn't any lore or anything beforehand that sort of influenced it. It was like, I have a story of my own that I would like to tell,
Yeah.
and I want to do it using Destiny animations.
Yeah.
Only because no face, sweet armor, and canonically it could fit within the lore. So
Oh, okay.
I'll fit it all in if I can, and just go with that.
Gotcha. Yeah, Destiny. So like, I don't play it myself, but I have friends that play, and the lore is pretty intense. Like, it all gets pretty deep.
Yeah, it gets. You start fighting like paracausal entities pretty soon, and I'm like, this is fine.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Do you think of that? Do you think about the story in terms of like whether or not something goes full cosmic or not? Like, do you think about like something that sometimes ruins it for me is like when I feel like a show or a movie jumps the shark when it's like you kind of like take things from a root level with heroes that are simple and have like punching guy who's good at punching. This is a made up story, you know, who's like real great at punching, and eventually has to use his punching powers to defeat like Intergalactos, the leader of the alien, you know, who has all of the power rings.
Yeah. So I think Destiny does a really good job of like balancing that out, because
Yeah.
your character by nature has like a paracausal part of itself.
What's paracausal?
God,
Godlike.
like an entity that like capital G.
Is it like it's like a demigod thing? You're like part. There's a part god nature to it.
No. Our character is an extension of this god.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like we can die and then immediately come back like nothing happened.
All right. Pull a Gandalf. Cool.
Yeah, yeah. So our
Yeah.
character has, some innate level of like, okay, so I'm a space baller, right? I've got some sweet skills, and within like the first few missions, you have to kill um one of the enemy race's gods.
Okay.
So that just shows like, okay, you are super powerful to begin with, and we're just
Yes.
gonna keep power scaling you.
Gotcha.
Um, so at this point, we've killed two like ancient deities who, in the lore, one of them gets stronger if you get fooled by her.
Okay.
So like, if I was to tell you, I am 82 years old, and you believe me, then I get stronger. That's the thing.
Yeah. I mean, you'll need it if you're 82.
Yeah.
I recognize what I did there.
And then the other one has the ability to like rip through a universe, kind of like make a parallel universe right in front of you,
Mm.
which you kind of go, there is no way I'm going to defeat this thing.
Okay.
And then your character does. And then it's kind of like, I'm far more powerful than I think. So I think Destiny does a really good job of like, in lore at least, making sure that things are balanced out so that if you do end up fighting one of these gods, it's not for like just giggles. There's an element of there's a reason that you killed the god. Whether or not we explain it in game and you have to go watch My Name is Bife's lore video about it, that's up to you, right? That's one thing that Destiny 2 does a lot better now than Destiny 1.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, like the art of lore is like such an interesting thing, anyways, because it's something that's kind of like always between the cracks. So like how much of it gets integrated that's like its own art form, It's like it's its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay. So guys, like just you in the chat, just so you know, like it's about time if you want to start populating some questions for Carson. We'll go through those in just a minute. We will get to those questions before we get to our interactive madness, as it will.
Oh, yes.
I've got a weird one I think you're really gonna like tonight. Like it's the most unhinged of all our games, for sure.
Oh, I'm so amped.
Yeah, I think it's your energy. I think you're gonna be good there.
I'm in.
It'll be good. All right, so y'all leave any questions in the chat for Carson, and I guess we can just wrap up. So you got some films that are coming out or in various stages of production that you're really excited about. You're working with HBO. You're sounds like you're doing a lot. Like, do you feel like how do you organize your time? I guess that's like a lot of really big stuff to do.
We're gonna come in close, and I'm gonna let you know I do not. I have a Google Calendar, and that is about my only source of like, I have to keep things in mind. I have to keep things in check. Like even today, before hopping on the stream, I was at work, and then I got the reminder on my phone, and I was like, I gotta go. So, I mean, I miss events sometimes. Like the other day, I was supposed to help my mom with something, and I completely I wrote down for whatever reason. I thought it was at 6. It was at 4, which I don't even know how that happens. But I'm gonna as I get older and figure out a little bit more, I'm sure that'll happen a lot less.
Okay. Yeah. You got those ADHD demons. Sounds like.
Yes. And
yeah,
the problem
I got
is
those.
It's not. I don't want to have that whole thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just I have a lot of information that comes in sort of all at once.
Yeah.
So trying to figure out, okay, I need to finish XYZ soon. And then balancing out, okay, well, I have another project that I need to finish, and then another one, and then another one. It's really just like a mental thing in my head of thinking, I think I can do it. And then
I refer to this as brain multi-threading.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like multi-threading, but it's brain. But it's brain.
I like that.
Yeah. All right. Does anyone have any other questions? Otherwise, I think it's about time. Unless you have got anything else that is burning on your mind that we should cover in this section of the show.
I do not so far.
All right. I'm excited to like expand your full galaxy brain to the extent of all of the creative correlations you can make in this next little bit here.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be
Also,
good.
I'm almost finished with an animation, so this thing looks sweet so far.
You've been animating on us this entire time?
Oh yeah, for sure. Is there
Somebody's
any way
not
I can
coming
share
back.
my screen?
I guess, yeah. I feel you could. There should be an option in OBS Ninja. Yeah, sure. Let's see it.
All right, let's see. I want to make sure I don't accidentally share the incorrect thing. Oh,
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 sure
okay.
as heck. Look at that.
oh, sweet. Hold on. Let me just get you full screen. I was kidding. Of course, you would be. Quite welcome.
Let me
the,
Oh, I was gonna make it so that way it filmed in properly, but the
Okay.
camera right now, I have it set to a more anamorphic look where it's got some spherical bokeh in the back.
Yeah.
And I just cheap out the settings.
hmm
But
I was
still
gonna
have
say, how
some-
are you getting renders so quick and cycles that fast? Is this just cycles or this EV?
This is cycles, and I got very lucky and found a 4090.
Oh, there. Well, that'll do it. Yeah.
So this is my beastly baby.
Very nice.
A lot of these things are like cheap tricks throughout the entire shot.
Yeah.
So you'll see these mountains in the back, and they have a sort of fake depth pass to them rendered in engine. So like if I pull away, you'll see they change color. And that's just some like broken
Okay.
shader stuff.
Is that happening on the compositor level, or you're getting depth information through the? Wait, that's a dense question.
No,
probably-
you're good.
Yeah.
So I'm instead of doing it inside of the compositor, which I totally can if I wanted to, I just
Right.
can't preview it in real time. So instead, what I've done is made a very simple atmosphere setup.
Yeah.
And I can actually, if Blender stops compiling the shaders on the Destiny character, change what the atmosphere will blend into. And it's using a Z depth pass grabbed just straight from the engine. And then I'm just kind of mixing a lot of that. So there's a map range, which just kind of sets, what's my threshold of distance that I can be super far or super close. And then the color ramp itself will be, if it's close up, it's black. And then farther away, you get more atmospheric things. And you just change that to the level of your horizon in your HDRI.
I feel like you're like the Paul Atreides of CG. You're just like, someone's just like, hey Carson, do you think we could do this? And then like your brain just like zooms out to like seeing all the nodes of the universe, and you're like, it can be done.
Yeah, I think because I have these moments whenever I am working where I'll just immediately quiet up and start focusing on just sort of what they've been told or what I've been told is like the basic idea. And then I'm running down a list. There's sort of like a check mark of, how many things can I do? What can I do? How would I do it? What's my order of operations? How do I make sure that it actually renders out properly? And it happens relatively quick, like in real time, but in my head it feels super slow. So it's an odd.
It's like a time dilation. Like you're a very brilliant person. Like I feel like you're probably just like cycling very fast through. No pun intended. Again, on exactly what you're focusing in on. Is the animation in a place where we could see the shot? Did we already see the shot?
No, not fully, but this was the blending thing. So you'll see in the background, that's actually how it's lining up. But if I was to mute this on these ground layers,
yeah. Where are you getting most of your assets too?
This is Quixel Bridge. I download 2 of them.
Oh, nice.
And for each shot, I just duplicate it and sort of make it around.
Yeah.
And it works to a point, and
Yeah.
nobody really notices it, especially if it's way in the background over here, because
Oh no, you never would.
So I'll go ahead and play the animation with depth of field and cavity on for us. And I turned on screencast keys for us.
You're
That
about to
way-
do an entire tutorial on my stream. What the
Well,
heck?
I'm not purposefully doing it. I like animating, and if I'm off the clock, technically, I'm doing some Destiny animations in the free time. So,
Gotcha. Well, thanks for making room for this.
oh, of course. I mean, you messaged. I was like, oh, absolutely, I'm in.
Awesome.
Because I had watched a few of your YouTube videos about like Unreal Engine and Unreal Engine 5. I was like, this is sweet.
Yeah.
So I'd been following your YouTube channel for a while, and I was like, this. You just messaged me?
Oh no, I've been following your Twitter for like forever. I've been like every single time like, oh damn, he just dropped another insane like just, the renders are so good. Like
Thank you.
I've been seeing your tweets also about some of the stuff we talked about and just kind of pretending not to know to be a better interviewer.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been like, yeah, like I hope he talks about the HBO thing. That'll be cool. Yeah, totally.
So I haven't finished this whole section after these keyframes. I
Yeah.
initially just got the like whip around, and so a lot of this will just be visual effects. But since I don't have to do the world or the environment, this is what I've got so far.
That's awesome.
But the lighting blends in nicely. The depth of field is taken care of.
Seems like your HDRIs are doing most of the work. Is that right on this shot? Probably.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Metal.
if I'm doing an exterior shot, the character moves around a bunch. I really don't do much in terms of lighting.
Yeah.
More so just trying to line things up in a neat way. And here's the materials, by the way, the ones that I mentioned earlier. So this is what that gentleman Judd Sub, who was in your stream for a minute, was talking about doing.
Okay.
But this
There's like a
and he made it into a script.
that looks like the
It's a node. It's a node board.
How is that perform? I have too many questions about this to ask any of them. I gotta keep us on track. Oh my goodness. Okay. I have so many. We're gonna talk after this, and I'm gonna
briefly explain it.
I think that's probably best for another time. I will, as soon as the stream is over, just descend upon you with a million questions. I am super amped about all this stuff. But it is about that time where we're gonna play the game, unless there's anything we're missing here.
Rain. I added a rain shader to it.
That's ridiculous, dude.
I was so proud of it too.
I don't think the stream is doing it justice because it's all very small, but like that's pretty freaking sweet. Oh yeah,
so
dude.
If I am to isolate this and then just take a look at it from this angle here, and I know for a fact Twitch compression is about to blow it.
Yeah.
But you can see here it's got some of the wave ripples going down, and if I hit the space bar, they are animated.
That's so cool.
And they affect the roughness channel and do all that good stuff with the normal maps and the bumps. And if it goes over cloth, it has a different reflectivity versus if it goes over something shiny. So it's a complex pain in the butt, but yeah, I got it to work yesterday. So I was very excited.
I don't feel like anyone's ever, look, I could be totally wrong. I've seen some really cool fan productions, but like I don't feel like anyone's really ever gone that hard on like this is still Destiny. You know what I mean? Like this is like the level of work you're putting into this is like the level of work I would expect someone for like a custom film pipeline or for like a feature film or gosh, I'm running out of words. It's so impressive, dude. That's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. And then one like final thing on the material is I have infinite detail.
Wait, what?
And when I say infinite detail, I mean I can get right up next to the vertice and I still have texture detail.
Oh, are you doing like some sort of like bump map to visibility thing?
Yeah, so the closer I get to it, it fades in a super high downscaled texture.
Oh gosh.
And then if I zoom back out, it disappears. And it just looks like normal.
And it's not.
So that
And
means I can put my camera right up next to them
that's.
and see all the micro bumps.
Guys, I'm broken. Like I don't. that's wild. I don't have enough good things to say about that. I just, dude, oh gosh, that's amazing. That's so cool. Freaking mind blown, dude. Oh gosh. All right. Are you ready
a
to?
precautionary thing, so that way I don't have to set it up
Yeah.
every time.
All right. I gotta get us back into the
ready.
flow here. You ready to play a game? Can we see your face again, sir?
Oh yeah. Here, I'm ready for the games.
Yeah.
Let them begin. Where's my thing? How do I?
Your webcam.
It says video. Oh, I have to hit stop sharing. Hold on.
There you go. There you go.
There it goes. Cool.
Yeah. All right. So I got something special for you. This is I did a couple of visual overhauls too. I mean, it's nothing for those of you who've been watching the show for a while. It's like nothing too fancy, but I have made a couple of changes that I think people who have been hanging out with the show for a long time. This is episode 22, 25, something like that. This is one of the first games that we played on the show. You taking a minute to like write down your copy of Finnegan's Wake. Like, what are you doing right now?
I have a typewriter, and it is very stimulating to like press the buttons on this. So while you're prepping the stream, I'm stimming myself.
That's the most oversized fidget spinner I've ever seen.
I got this thing for $8. It's so sweet.
That's wild.
It works.
Okay, that's surprisingly on theme. I don't actually have to set anything up. I can just press a button and then we'll be in for what we're doing next. All right.
Oh.
Here we go. Look at this. And here we are. We got the
we got curtains.
We got curtains, exactly.
Oh, snap.
Exactly. So I'm gonna open this up and you're gonna see what we have behind it. Oops.
Oh, that's so cool.
We have the Wheel of Chaotic Prompts. Ooh.
Oh. This is an Unreal?
This is an Unreal, yes.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yes, so you're in my game world. Like you're in my virtual studio here.
Dude, that's so wicked.
Yeah, no, it's really fun. Yeah, so like, I can float between all my different cameras here. Here's like sort of my main shot, but then like, I have my game show here. And there's 4 different game shows in the show. So this is just one of them. We have 4 now. One of them actually we don't really play anymore.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Neither here nor there. So, so this is the Wheel of Chaotic Prompts. It's pretty darn simple. The way this game works is that I spin all of these wheels, and then it tells you what to think of next, and we will together brainstorm what the wheels mean. So, here we go. Are you ready to spin the wheels?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Yeah, the middle one too.
You're gonna have to read them out to me because I cannot see at all.
It's okay. I will have to do so anyways for those who are more audio inclined for the stream. Anyways.
Gotcha.
All right. So here's how the game works. Like you have your prompt at the top, and then you have a adjective noun pair. This will be fun for your writing exercises. So come up with a clever hashtag for an ironclad cat. There you go. That's your first prompt. If you want me to start, I'm happy to as well.
Well, I know the first word is hashtag. Like the first thing in my sentence. Ironclad cat.
Yeah, I gotta. There's I'm not exactly sure what to say to that. I feel like there has to be a story about the cat. The cat, like, let's say this is it's like we're talking about Cocaine Bear, right?
Yeah.
So like this is a cat that like stopped a robbery. I think, it's more metaphorically ironclad. So this is like
ironclad will.
Yeah, this
okay.
Yeah, like or just like a indefatigable cat who's able to just like you know, completely dole out justice whenever it's needed.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking here.
Okay.
That's the cat, and he's got like, so the cat stopped a robbery, so everyone's really excited about the cat. So we got to come up with a hashtag that, unless you have a different interpretation of this, we need a good hashtag for this very special cat. You know how people used to talk about like something's the goat, right? And then eventually semantic drift happened, and then everyone is just like, yeah, goated. It's goated. Like, which is ridiculous. It's like greatest of all time. What if this cat is so great that people started talking about how it was catted?
Okay. I'm looking at your chat right now, and
Yeah.
D2 Loki just said ironclad.
Ironclad.
That's incredibly. I don't even know why I bother. Okay, so.
No, you do great.
So let me. I'm trying to think of a good story where the cat would not have, the things beforehand. And I don't want to copy Iron Man because it would be kind of cool if like there was a civilization full of cats, and this cat just happened to be super smart.
I like it though. I think that's good.
RoboCat.
Okay.
It's like RoboCop, but it's cats in the military.
Okay.
We have this one who got bombed on accident, like in some kind of transport vehicle. After suffering severe injuries. Also, somebody said Full Metal Meowchemist.
I saw that one and I am floored.
Good lord, bro, you're
Fruitsy Collins. That's our amazing Fruitsy Collins. Oh my goodness,
that's insanity.
That's so freaking good.
Oh man. Okay, so I still don't have a good hashtag other than RoboCat, but that's not got ironclad in it at all.
I think RoboCat's cool. Like, let's just say, like, we could say that the cat like shot someone in the crotch the way RoboCop did, and that's why it's hashtag RoboCat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
There's a lot of combinations on this wheel. Like we don't have to like
a lot of combos.
Yeah, well, we can keep them coming. If you're not feeling this one, it's a pretty like take it or leave it system here. Like I will happily serve you up a new one here.
I say re-roll.
Yeah, I got you. I'm realizing that I
do like the game though. That's actually really awesome.
Thank you. I'm realizing that one of my middle spinner here is not in my stream deck tonight.
You're on vacation, but you encounter a blank. What?
A teeny tiny politician. You're on vacation, but you encounter a teeny tiny politician. What do you do? So, where do you want to take this, Carson?
All right. If I am to meet a teeny tiny politician while I am exploring a beautiful Japanese shrine, right, on vacation, I'm having a good time. I'm going overseas. This is the farthest I've ever been, and I'd love to, just to enjoy my time. If I am to see an American politician, I'm gonna put a cup over him. Like how I do with hands, or a magnifying glass.
That's valid.
Just go absolutely violent.
That's totally valid. You can totally do that. That 100% works. There's ain't nothing wrong there.
Yeah, I think a magnifying glass. Well, funny enough, I used to have this wallet, like credit card Swiss Army knife thing, and it had a magnifying glass in it. So if I wanted to use that, I could have, but stupid TSA took it away from me.
They took a magnifying glass?
Well, they took out the like credit card wallet part because it had like a screwdriver in it.
Oh, yeah.
Also an extraordinarily burnt and dull blade. But the weird thing is I went to New York with it totally fine. Like nobody stopped me in New York of all places. But the second I just went to Seattle, they were like, yeah, we're gonna have to take that away from you.
Yeah, I think in smaller airports, you got people who are taking their job a little bit more seriously because
I was leaving from the same place.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was like, it didn't make any sense to me, and I think it was just this person did not like me.
Oh, that seems like a shame. You're quite likable.
I kept asking questions.
That'll do it. That'll
They were
do
probably
it.
like,
You
oh
can't
my
be,
god.
you can't be doing that. You can't be
Yeah,
asking
I
them the
know.
questions. The
It's my fault.
I'm gonna say for me, this is just my answer, but if I encounter a teeny tiny politician, like I'm gonna use him to like perform elaborate heists. Like, and because it's on vacation, like, you know, it's just like sort of a one-off. I'm gonna be like, hey, it
Yeah.
seems like you've been shrunk and you're desperate. Like, let's have you break into some stores at night, open them from the inside. We're gonna pull the heist of a lifetime, and then we'll get you back to normal with the money, and then you can use all of your ties to make sure it all gets covered up and no one will ever be the wiser.
My question then becomes, does his strength, like, ratio, does he keep his human strength, kind of like how ants do?
Yeah, so that's like sort of an Ant-Man question, right? Like that happens in that
Yeah.
movie. That I don't I'm fine either way, right? Cuz like it's still useful to be very very tiny cuz you can like get inside, like let's say you just like get through a locked door or something. Like that's very cool and very possible. Like that's totally that's a move. Like that's
He
not
just looks at the money and like tries dragging a piece of, like a
he
dollar
can't
bill. He's like, "Ugh,
he's like
fuck!"
rolling the quarter to it's
Yeah,
like,
he's like,
like half
I
his
pulled my
size.
back doing this.
Yeah, that's good.
You're paying for my surgery with this quarter here.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we're gonna do another one. I gotta actually click on all the wheels now. I have all this in my Stream Deck typically.
Does his congressional seat have a booster? That's a good question.
That's
Maybe
that's
they
a
have
good
a magnifying
that's a good
glass.
word joke right there. Wait a second. Describe your first date with large-mouthed Patreon. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this.
Like Patreon subscriber? Like
I suppose, yeah. I suppose
Okay.
that's what we're talking about here.
I got it.
Yeah.
So here, I'll do it as if I had it, right?
Okay.
All right. So, I have these Patreon tiers, right? My tier.
Wait, do you have a
100
Patreon?
Hell no.
Okay.
I don't like gatekeeping things. That's my personal take. I don't like to gatekeep things. If people want something
Kind of a
that
hot
I'm
take,
working
wow.
on,
Yeah.
I give it to them. I don't care. Like, even if it costs me a lot of time to make it, if somebody just says, "Hey, do you have motion capture data?" I will send it that minute.
All right.
There's no
Cool.
like thinking about it. I don't really care.
Okay.
But so my, tier 100 or tier 3 Patreon fans, every once in a while, if they happen to be in the area, I agree to, go out, hang out with them, and maybe take them out to a nice dinner or something as a
Aw.
thanks for being my loyal supporter. But then I had this gentleman who just had this. Why am I on a date with a man? Oh well. It's fine with
Because
me.
it's a free world. Like you can do what you
Yeah,
want.
it's a free world.
If that's how you feel inclined, go for it.
Yeah. So I'm on this particular voyage, and as I make it to the restaurant, I can't help but notice like this trail of drool sort of going from the parking deck into the front door, and I'm thinking, maybe they got a Rottweiler, maybe they got a little dog that they let in that just happens to drool a little bit, right? And to my surprise, I find this man sitting there with a mouth the shape of a Boston Terrier. Very large mouth. And I could not get over that. The entire dinner, just hanging out, trying to make conversation. I couldn't stop looking at like his facial features. I mean, it was awful. It was weird. I mean,
Wait, so the man has has like a weird large mouth, or the dog has a large weird mouth?
No, the man does.
Right, and that's why you're looking at the. That's why. Oh wait. I'm sorry. I had a little ADHD moment. Is there a dog?
No. I thought that there was a dog
Okay.
because there's like drool all over the place because he has the large mouth.
Oh, okay. I'm catching on now, and I'm very grossed out.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was a a terrible first date. He ended up taking the waitress's hand and like just
In
swallow.
marriage?
No, like eating it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, that stays in theme. Yeah.
yeah. Like just kind of like slobbered all over it and then just chomped down. Took it for his own personal gain. I don't know. But it was a very uncomfortable situation. The police were called. I had to leave. I had to flee the scene and act like I never knew that person ever.
I admire the amount of world building on this so much because like when I think of like largemouth Patreon, it's like kind of like how people talk about on Twitch, like they talk about tier 3 subs. Like I feel like they're it's someone who like wants your time and is like, hey, like I have buddies who talk about this who are like big on Twitch who are like, they have like people who have like subbed at a higher level to like get their attention and stuff, and like the like to me the joke feels so like maybe too easy to make, or like so easy to make there's not a joke because there's like a stereotype of like that kind of person. And like I don't know anybody who actually feels that way about their community. Like everyone I know is like, people who support them are like the pride and joy of their whole existence, but there is sort of that like a stereotype of the over engaged person. The thing though, I love how you have like, you've like drawn him out with drool and all of this stuff. Like I think that's really good. I think we're gonna get you some more. We need to get you some more wheels. Here we go.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I do like trying to come up with stories on the spot. It's those are like the shower thoughts though. Like when you're in the shower and you start dreaming of like a super cool short film and you're like, oh, I gotta write that down, and then you never do.
Yeah, you're like, give me that. Yeah, for sure.
What sound does
An aqua-colored badger make? What sound does an aqua-colored badger make?
Badgers, I assume go. Or that's a platypus.
You're thinking of Perry the Platypus.
Yeah. What sound? Badgers make hissing noises.
Do they?
Yeah. So
I don't actually
know what it would
know.
sound like? You know what they would sound like?
Yeah. What?
Like gargling water.
Because they're aqua-colored.
Because they're aqua-colored.
So okay, so it's a badger. It sounds like a normal badger if you were waterboarding it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Here, hold on. This isn't my water. It was just water that was in my office, so I don't. It could be anyone's at this point.
Wait, what are you doing? You're just this. This is getting a little bit unhinged for us over here. You fully committed to the bit. You fully committed. That's so good. Oh my!
I literally do not know whose water this is or how long it's been down in my office.
Oh my goodness, that's wild. Uh-oh. Looks like I just lost it for a second. Okay.
Oh,
well. That works for me. I got nothing on that. That's quite good. All right. So let's get you you're starting to pick up steam here. I like where this is going. Yeah.
Just needed some warm up.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes a couple rounds to get into it. Oh, you're gonna like this next one. Oh wow.
Ooh,
This is a little bit. It's gonna be a little too easy. Pitch a movie about a hyper-aggressive crypto scam.
All right. Have to get in character.
He's doing a character.
Okay, so we got this idea. There's this thing called the blockchain. Now, if you don't know what that means, neither do we. So don't even bother asking, right? What we want to do is make it an NFT experience. Now, during the movie theater, you will have QR codes popping up left and right. Now, if you do not scan these fast enough, you will be escorted off the premises. If you do not get them fast enough, you will be escorted off the premises. Now, the reason people want to watch this film is because at the very end, there is a scene, a very suggestive scene with a very attractive actress, Scarlett Johansson. No, hold on. The dude has an accent, so with Scarlett Johansson. So, and that's what people are trying to watch. So, if they miss out on that NFT QR scan code, they will be escorted and they will have to pay again to come back in. So this will make us a lot of money in the end, and I'm sure Johansson will gladly involve herself after the whole fiasco with Marvel. I don't remember much of that, but trust me, bro. This is the future, and if you don't, I'll just like start selling Forex stock or something. What else should I do?
I don't know what I don't know. Yeah, that's so good, dude. So freaking funny. So my take on this though is like it's like a Wolf of Wall Street type movie, right? So like we're gonna have a movie that like the crypto scam is like built into it or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe it's okay. Here's the idea. It's a biopic about Beeple, but you know Beeple, the guy who sold like the $70 million Christie's thing, whatever. So like it's Beeple, but he's like it's like a heist movie. And like he by day is like this like you know the face of this beautiful amazing artwork sale, you know what I mean? He's the figurehead of the crypto industry, but by night he's into black hat hacking with his other crypto bros, and it's like sort of like an Ocean's movie, but they're like definitely bad people.
I like Ocean's movies. Those are good.
Yeah, this is like a subversive. Like I know like Ocean's movies are subversive because it's like, oh, we've got the guys here and they're they're technically robbing someone, but the person's like a bad guy. This one is just crypto guys just getting wherever they can get. You know what I mean? Like just like whatever it is, like they're in for a penny, in for a pound. They're just robbing people. That's my pitch. But it's Beeple, and he's like cussing all the time. He's like, "What the fuck are we gonna do over here? We gotta get that crypto."
Yep.
That's how he sounds.
Yeah. No, I when I first heard his voice, I was like, peculiar, but all right.
Yeah. No,
I don't know where he's from originally.
I do know where he's from. I think he's from Wisconsin, which kind of makes a little bit more sense.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah. All right, it's time to get you some more spins, my friend.
Let's go.
Some more spins here. I was gonna give you the same one again.
Bomb a movie?
Whoa, hold on.
What does it say?
Hold on 1 second. Yes! Oh, I love this one. This is gonna be great. Come up with a name for a cyberpunk rock song.
Dude, the compression on Discord was so awful. I literally thought it said bomb a movie, and I was like, what does that mean?
It's the natural extension. It's the sequel where Mike Winkleman, aka Beeple, is left with no recourse other than to just take out everyone with terrorist threats.
Yes. All right. So come up with a name for a cyberpunk rock song.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk rock song.
I'll start because I think I gotta like. Here's my take. Like,
all right, let's hear.
It's any Imagine Dragons song except that you put like a dot and then you put a top level domain name afterwards. So instead of like radioactive, it's like radioactive.io or like radioactive.biz or like enemy.place or like
okay.
Yeah, they all just have, for whatever reasons, they have like little bits of URLs on them. That's mine.
Okay, and then the URL just links to a crypto sham.
So, exactly. Oh yeah, we're tying it in with everything. It's like it's so good.
And that's the intro to the both films. So
yes,
I guess
it's Imagine Cyberpunk Dragons.
I gotta go through my list of songs that.
He's about to open Spotify. You've taken this further than most people have taken this so far.
I'm all in.
You did a character in a Spider-Man mask to be a crypto guy.
It was
quite funny.
And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put it on. Let's see.
Fruitsy says, I want to hold your hand. Your left one, that's a robot.
Oh, that sounds like an indie grunge band's version.
No, it's the come on, who sings this song? The I Want to Hold Your Hand. It's the Beatles. The I Want to Hold Your Hand. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Let's see. A rock song?
Yeah.
Do I even? Yeah, I do listen to rock songs. I'm thinking of like Soasen or something.
Here, okay, I'm gonna drop a hot take on this. Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Any Muse song, but make it good.
I like that. I like that. Man. Yeah, they do have Butterflies and Hurricanes. That's the only song that I actually saved.
Who's this by? What band sings
Muse.
Butterflies and Hurricanes? Oh, okay.
Muse.
Yeah, Muse.
That's
I don't listen to
the
Muse.
only one that I have saved.
Can you tell that I don't listen to Muse? I do not listen to Muse.
That was from 2004. Oh, lordy. Yeah, I have older rock songs.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think.
Do you want to respin? Do you want a different one? Do you want to move on, or do you?
Yeah, I'm not good at song naming. That's not my. That's
okay.
Thing.
That's okay. Just do a cop out like me and just be like, copy the Imagine Dragons song, but make it tech.
Escalator to Heaven.
Escalator to Heaven is so good.
Oh man, your fruitsy person is hilarious. I like the pun.
Fruitsy does quite well at most of these interactive games.
Yeah.
Wait, did we get Cyberpunk again? We got Cyberpunk again. And it's a playlist one. Do you want something different? It's like well, the playlist might be a little easier.
Playlist might be a little easier. We'll see. What's that?
VTuber is the other one. So, oh gosh. Yeah, what's on a playlist called Parachute VTuber? Gosh. It's got to be
Help
a lot
Me,
of...
I'm Falling.
It's a lot of anime songs. Help Me, I'm Falling, yeah.
Yeah, there's Help Me, I'm Falling. Hold on. A lot of Sonic Frontiers. It has to be Sonic Frontiers anime intros.
Gotcha. Yeah. It's definitely an FMV vibe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hold on. I'll even.
Kana, our previous guest, would know. Kana would know.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Endless Possibilities by the Tomoya Otani Band. I don't know if you've heard that. But
we're supposed to name the playlist, not necessarily the.
Oh, I thought these were songs on the playlist.
I got confused. What's on a playlist called? Oh no, you're right. You're totally right.
Okay, cool.
I'm the one goofing it.
Yeah, it would be Sonic songs.
Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing that.
Let's see, on a Parachute VTuber.
Gosh.
Free Falling. But I'm free.
There you go. That's
Freebird. I would put on it.
That's good. Okay, I like that. For sure. I'm ready to pick it up. I feel like we just did the music thing. You want another one?
Yeah, let's roll.
It's time for a new beat. You know, we did that. We've been here.
Let's just see. Flight of the Valkyries. I like that one.
They already have Ironclad. What VTuber could be described bedazzled flute? I feel like, honestly, Kana Huyuko, our previous guest, I feel like that's not entirely inappropriate.
I feel like that's accurate.
Yeah.
Because her avatar is very, very much...
It's very girly.
Designed properly. I also like that when she blinks, the wings flap. That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, it's super cool.
I follow her Twitter, and I'm like, how do you even do this? It doesn't make sense to me. It's very impressive to me. Let's see. I don't watch a ton of VTubers. I guess Code Miko.
Sure. Yeah.
But there's one person, and they do stuff in Unity. I don't know if it's VTubing.
You've just described most of them.
They use Unity?
No, most VTubers, are using like Unity tech. Not me. Not me though. Not me though.
I thought it was Unreal that they were mostly using. That's
no.
Oh no, VR chat uses Unity, so that would make sense if it was okay. Never mind.
Yeah. For the ones who are using VR chat anyway. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, do you wanna so Kana's my answer. Do you wanna, let's say, like, you wanna do like one more of these and we'll try to get like a real good one?
Yeah.
All right, cool, let's do it.
Live
Look,
2D is pretty widespread. I don't even know what that is, Fruitsy. I'll have to Google it after
this is a 3D man. He doesn't remove any of his dimensions.
I'm so, like, bad at keeping things 2D. Like, I'm okay in Photoshop, but I, like, grab reference from the 3D and then paint over top of it because I'm like, I can't see the shadows.
No, give me
All right, let's see.
Give me a new one here.
Anime Girl VTuber Maker. Well, now I've got to make one.
Overrated or underrated? No, give me another one of those. I don't want the same word again.
I have to make myself an anime girl.
I mean, we all have to at some point.
I feel like that's my now. Well, I already made an exo cat girl, like a robot cat girl.
Ooh, those are all the rage.
That was a weird thing.
Yeah, you probably got some attention for some weird places you weren't ready for. Come on, are we out of adjectives? Yeah, out of adjectives already? Come on.
It attracted a rather large crowd that I was like, oh, and they come out of the woodwork, and the block list grows. It's a lot of peculiar folks out here on Twitter. I'll be honest.
Okay, this is a weird one. Underrated or overrated? Stinky removal. So for me, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna say what we're describing here is personal hygiene is underrated or overrated. And you know what? I'm gonna go with overrated. I got code to write. You know what I mean?
Hold on.
Yeah, overrated.
Personal hygiene.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, but do you have sweat glands?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
In real life, yeah.
How do you prevent that?
How do I prevent sweat glands?
No. How do you prevent that from, like, creating an aroma? Do you just wipe it with water and pray?
No, I mean, I do, like, I'm not saying I'm, like, all out on it. I'm not saying I never shower. I'm just saying it's overrated. You know what I mean? Like, people make a bigger deal of it than they need to. That's what I'm telling you here.
I think.
What's your answer?
You know what? Okay, hold on. Because I partially agree with you. However, I think it depends on your diet first. Because the foods that we eat here in America mess you up.
Okay, yeah.
They mess up
undoubtedly.
Your teeth, so then you have to take care more of your teeth.
Yeah.
Like in Europe, apart from the UK.
Oh yeah, the teeth thing. UK not known for the.
When they are eating their foods that are processed properly and not through a bunch of chemicals, their teeth are fine. So they literally just use bark and stuff, and that's an actual thing that they can use. But here in the US, it's like you have to have XYZ chemicals in this to clean XYZ that we gave you on accident. Whoops, my bad. And just a bunch of other stuff. So I partially agree with you, but I guess it depends on like.
What does that have to do with personal hygiene?
Like about the personal hygiene being overrated or underrated? Because I know people who do not, like, in the shower, like, they just let the water run on their behind instead of, like, actually taking the time to go, you know what? This is an area of sensitivity. This is an area of heat. I should probably clean this in particular. And same with feet. I have a huge problem with feet. Not like in
oh, this is okay. It's time to shut it down. Time to shut it down. But this has been a really great. It's been a really great time. Great virtual Woody variety show. Thank you, guest Carson Reed. Cut the stream. All right, time to rate everybody.
No, not like that. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
There are some people who just like forget
Stinky
or
feet.
neglect to clean stuff, and I'm like,
yeah,
please. For the sake of everybody in the immediate vicinity, go ahead and just like take a washcloth and some soap. Takes 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, yeah, unless you fall into like a weird ADHD daydream hyperfocus while you're in there, which has been known to happen to me.
Yep.
Many a time. It's like I get into the shower.
Stuck.
Yeah, the shower is a portal to other dimensions if your imagination is powerful enough.
Yeah. Because I'll be sitting in there and I'll finish showering at like the 8-minute mark, right? And that's still long in my opinion. Like, I can get it faster, but then I just spend like an additional 20 minutes. I'm like, ooh, that would be a cool animation idea. And like, just keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Okay. That's such a way to go out. Oh my goodness. So
We had cocaine, foot fetish.
We did. This took so many turns. I loved it though.
Fun.
I loved it so much. That's great. I'm gonna take a shower after this. Carson Reed, you're fantastic, my friend. You're doing a lot of really cool stuff, and it was really great to be able to learn from you, both in terms of like how you think, and also you even showed us your Blender setup. It was amazing.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I thought, how cool.
Yeah.
So thanks again for having me. This has been super neat, and it's been super cool. I'm going to question the hell out of how you've set up your Unreal, because
Oh, you can just ask me.
I gotta learn.
Yeah. We'll swap, man. Get me on those LED volumes. I'll get you all the blueprints you want.
If you come up to Atlanta or around, I don't know which direction you are,
And then we keep it that way on purpose, because I'm a VTuber. No one needs to know where I live.
yeah, if you let me know, I will, like, we'll have you over in the studio and
We'll hook it up. That sounds awesome. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, cool. Well, that great. You saw it, and we have witnesses.
Yes, yeah, y'all have witnesses. Don't worry. I've met let's see, I think 10 people from online in real life, and they've all been super cool. Like, I go out
it
to
mostly
eat
works
with them
out.
all the
Yeah.
time. It's super fun.
I met a lot of VTubers and it's always a good time. I haven't yet had a bad experience. All right, that's our show for tonight. Again, so where can we find you? So do you want to plug anything? You said you got upcoming stuff. Definitely your Twitter. If I got any mods in chat who could drop a Twitter link to Carson's Twitter, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so Twitter is Cinema Motions, Instagram Cinema Motions, TikTok Cinema Motions. It's all the same. I got very lucky on the name. So yeah, I got 2 projects. One of them should be hopefully coming out either late next week or early the week after. And then the other one TBD, because I'm getting sponsors for it.
Okay.
I got an investor, and I get to meet him next week. So
nice.
that'll be terrifying. This dude is 7'2".
He has money and he's 7'2"? Oh my goodness.
I think once I say it, once it's all gone through, you'll be like, oh, I know him.
Okay, so have fun meeting Shaq. That's gonna be cool for you.
You got it, dog.
Wait,
You got it.
who else is 7'2", dude?
I don't know. Is Shaq actually 7'2"? I've never known.
Probably. I don't know, man.
I just guessed.
I feel like he's at least 7'2".
That dude is towering.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Also, kind of a mogul. You see him in everything. Wait, sorry. I'm trying to wind down the show. So, okay. So check out your Twitter. I think you're on YouTube as well. So definitely check him out there. Super excellent.
7'1".
Oh.
Okay, so I was close.
He's still got time. He can still get to 7'2".
Still got a little growing to go.
Yeah. It's all good. But yeah, so thanks for being here. I'm really excited. I'm excited to have you back someday when you're I'm running the world now, and I'm the head of a studio, and I'm also still making animations in my spare time. It'll be good, dude.